Hello there, welcome to News at 10 on Rajya Sabha television. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor with you, and in the next 30 minutes I'll be taking you through the biggest news developing stories from India and across the world, and also the big news that you might have missed during the night. Let us start with the headlines. Terror attack at BSF camp near Srinagar International Airport. 3 jawans and a policeman injured. 1 militant killed. Firing still on. 59 people killed, over 500 injured in the worst mass shooting in recent US history. Islamic State claims responsibility. Investigators find no link to international terror. President Ramnath Kovind to undertake first overseas visit after assuming office to begin 4 days state visit to Djibouti and Ethiopia. Prime Minister gives away Swachh Bharat awards, reminds nation mission to achieve clean India can only be achieved by making it people's movement. And Indian squad for upcoming T20 series against Australia announced. Ashish Nehra and Shikhar Dhawan make comeback. Ashwin, Jadeja and Rahane dropped. Our top story is from Kashmir, where militants carried out a suicide attack on a BSF camp located near Srinagar International Airport early in the morning today. 3 jawans and a policeman have been injured. Now, 1 militant was killed in the exchange of fire. The attack took place at 4 in the morning and the exchange of firing is still on. The terrorists are holed up inside the building campus of the 182nd Battalion camp. Meanwhile, airport operations have been suspended. This battalion is entrusted with the security of the runway of the Srinagar airport. Adjacent to the camp is the old Srinagar airfield, which is being run by the Indian Air Force. The area also houses the training centers of the BSF and the CRPF. The schools in the vicinity of the airport have also been closed. And early on Monday, unprovoked firing by Pakistan claimed the life of a miner in Kearney sector of Jammu and Kashmir. Officials said that heavy cross-border mortar shelling by Pakistan targeted not only the Indian forward post but also civilian hamlets along the line of control. Meanwhile, in another incident, a police head constable was shot dead by terrorists in Awantipora.
2 miners were killed and 12 civilians injured when Pakistani troops resorted to unprecedented shelling along the line of control in Poonch district of Jammu and Kashmir on Monday. Pakistani Rangers fired mortars as well as medium and small automatic weapons, pounding the residential areas at Kasbah and Bagheldara villages in Kearney sector. Civilian areas in Degwar, Shahpur and Kasbah were also targeted.
सुबह जो पाकिस्तान ने अंधाधुंध बिना इस्तेमाल सिविलियन को टारगेट किया, फायरिंग किया, जिसमें मौके पर यहाँ जिस जगह पर हम खड़े हैं इसी घर की एक बच्ची जो मौत के घाट उतार दिया और 2 जो बच्चियाँ जख्मी हैं और तकरीबन यहाँ पूरे बगलदरा और दिगवार गांव के 4-5 आदमी जख्मी हैं जिसमें मवेशी भी है।
आज सुबह 6 बजे से पाकिस्तान की अंधाधुंध शेलिंग की वजह से और इतनी भयानक फायरिंग थी कि जिसकी वजह से 1 सेकंड में यहाँ 10 राउंड गोले पड़ते थे, किसी को कोई मौका नहीं दिया।
Deputy Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir Nirmal Singh said the Indian troops were retaliating in equal measure to Pakistani firing.
देखिए, पाकिस्तान ने एक बार फिर से कार्यता दिखाई है। पुंछ सेक्टर में लगातार वो सिविल एरिया के ऊपर वो फायरिंग कर रहा है। जो जानकारी हुई है कि लोग जख्मी हुए हैं और हमारी तरफ से मुंह तोड़ जवाब दिया जा रहा है। पाकिस्तान को मजबूर किया जाएगा वो बंद करे।
Experts say the frequent incidents of ceasefire violations by Pakistan are desperate attempts to push in armed terrorists in Jammu and Kashmir before the onset of winter. 2 such infiltration bids were foiled by the Indian Army along the line of control in Rampur and Tangdar sectors on Monday. 5 militants were killed and several weapons recovered from them.
हमें जो खबर मिली है उसके अनुसार कयूम नज़ार पाकिस्तान से वापस आया था सोपोर और इसके आसपास के इलाके में जो मिलिटेंट्स है उसको रिवाइव करने के लिए। तो चूंकि एक बहुत पुराना लीडर है जिनका काफ़ी सपोर्ट नेटवर्क सोपोर के आसपास के इलाके में थे, तो काफ़ी लोग उनको जानते थे। तो ये एक बहुत बड़ा कामयाबी है कि वो यहाँ पे आके अपने पूरे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को रिवाइव नहीं कर पाए।
On Sunday, the BSF had unearthed a 14-feet-long tunnel at the international border in Arunjaitley sector. The discovery of the tunnel, which was being dug from the Pakistani side, helped scuttle a major infiltration bid and a possible terror attack. Bureau Report, Rajya TV.
On to the other top story of the day. Condolences from all across the world continue to pour in after the mass shooting at a Las Vegas concert in which 59 people have been killed and another 527 have been injured. Now, as investigations continue, more ammunition has been found from the house of the gunman who opened fire from the 32nd floor of a hotel towards an open-air music festival. Now, though claimed by Islamic State, investigators have found no link to international terrorism. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump will be going to Las Vegas on Wednesday to meet the families of the victims of the deadliest shooting in modern US history. Lines formed at blood banks in Las Vegas. People waiting for up to 8 hours to donate blood to help the victims of the deadliest mass shooting in US history. This after the mayor of Las Vegas pleaded for blood donations.
That's why I'm here, to help the victims, and hopefully it'll recover and our blood will help.
Moments after the attack at a concert in which a gunman opened fire from the 32nd floor of a hotel towards an open-air music festival, Las Vegas was like a war zone. Hospitals overwhelmed, not enough ambulances. Slowly that giving way to mourning, the relief, the tears, the grief. Doctors still battling to save lives. The death toll has risen to at least 59, another 527 injured. Meanwhile, the investigation continues to gather pace with searches at gunman Stephen Paddock's home, where more weapons were found and a second property.
Retrieved in excess, Aaron, how many firearms was it? 18. In excess of 18 additional firearms, some explosives, and several thousand rounds of ammo, along with some electronic devices that we are evaluating at this point. I mentioned that.
However, the gunman's motives for carrying out the deadliest mass shooting in recent US history remains a mystery. Some investigators have suggested psychological issues, with Vegas police describing the shooting as a lone wolf attack. This despite Islamic State claiming to be behind the attack, saying that Paddock had converted to Islam some months ago. President Donald Trump called the attack an act of evil and offered his condolences. White House and US Senate observed a moment of silence in honor of the victims.
Joined together today in sadness, shock, and grief. It was an act of pure evil. The FBI and the Department of Homeland Security are working closely with local authorities to assist.
World leaders have also reacted to the shooting. British Prime Minister Theresa May, German Chancellor Angela Merkel, French President Emmanuel Macron and Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan among those to make statements. India's Ministry of External Affairs has also offered deepest condolences, adding that there were no reports of any Indian nationals among those affected in the shooting incident. It has also issued a helpline number. The lights of Paris's Eiffel Tower were turned off late in a tribute to the victims. President Trump has ordered US flags on federal buildings lowered to half-staff. He will travel to Las Vegas on Wednesday to meet the families of the victims.
In the days ahead, we will grieve as a nation, we will honor the memory of those lost as a nation, and we will come together, united as one nation, under God and indivisible.
After the deadliest mass shooting in US history, Democrats have already drawn their political battle lines, demanding changes to gun laws. Bureau Report, Rajya TV. And back home, President Ramnath Kovind will embark on a 4-day state visit to Djibouti and Ethiopia in Africa today. This will be his maiden trip abroad as a president. He will be in Djibouti today and tomorrow, where he will meet the president there, Ismail Omar Guelleh. The two leaders will discuss bilateral, regional and international issues. The president will also address the Indian community there. From 4th to 6th of October, President Kovind will visit Ethiopia, where he will have a bilateral engagement with the Ethiopian President Malatu Teshome. President Kovind will also address Indian and business community in Addis Ababa.
Africa is chosen as the first destination of President's overseas visit. And that is actually an index of the importance that is attached to the African continent by the current government. Honorable President would be visiting Ethiopia from October 4 to 6, 2017. The visit is at the invitation of Ethiopian President Teshome. The program includes talks with his counterparts, President Teshome, who will also hold a banquet for him. There's a business event and an interaction with the Indian community.
And President Ramnath Kovind earlier declared rural Gujarat as ODF, that is open defecation free, at a function held at Kirti Mandir in Porbandar on Monday. He felicitated rural women for achieving the ODF status for rural Gujarat. The President said that by achieving the goal of rural ODF status, Gujarat has paid true homage to Mahatma Gandhi. President Kovind also said that cleanliness is not just the responsibility of the sanitation personnel and the government departments, but a national movement. He said that achieving the goals of Swachh Bharat mission by 2nd of October 2019 will be an appropriate tribute to Mahatma Gandhi.
एक विकसित राष्ट्र के लिए स्वच्छता का होना बुनियादी शर्त है। प्रधानमंत्री ने स्वच्छता को उच्चतम प्राथमिकता दी है और इसे जन आंदोलन का रूप दिया है। पुनः ग्रामीण गुजरात को खुले में शौच से पूर्णतया मुक्त करने में सफलता प्राप्त करने के लिए मुख्यमंत्री जी, उनके मंत्रिमंडल, उनकी पूरी टीम को बधाई देता हूं।
And Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has said that the first step to create a developed India is to create a clean India. Speaking at India Today's Safai Awards on Monday, the Vice President said that cleanliness campaign was conceptualized as a people's movement to effect a change in the mindset. Echoing Prime Minister Narendra Modi's speech earlier in the day, Naidu laid emphasis on the role played by women who have demanded toilets in their homes and villages. The Vice President also gave away awards at the event that was organized on the day when the centre was observing the 3rd anniversary of its Swachh Bharat mission, which aims at making the country open defecation free by 2019.
The first step to create a developed India is to create a clean, hygienic and therefore a healthy India. A healthy India cannot be made without a healthy India. If you have a healthy India, then you can make a wealthy India. If you are a wealthy India, there is no guarantee that you will be able to make a healthy India. So let us all join together to create a clean and hygiene and therefore a healthy India. Let us ensure that this Jan Andolan intensifies every day and every citizen plays his part.
And Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu also addressed the Rally for Rivers event in New Delhi on Monday. The campaign has been launched by Sadhguru Jaggi Vasudev's Isha Foundation. Now applauding the plan to save rivers of the country, the Vice President said that the entire country should join in the campaign and revitalize India's rivers.
Have been bedrock of our civilization and the lifeline of India. These waters are the source of our food, our clothing, our technology and every other aspect of our lives. So we have to preserve them. We have to, the way the current devastation of these lifelines spells disaster for a nation with over 1 billion strong population. So we can no longer turn a blind eye as we stand on the threshold of the gravest crisis of our times. So friends, understand the seriousness. Let us all join together.
And Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu will be in Andhra Pradesh on a 2-day visit from today. His programs include a foundation stone laying ceremony of NH projects and National Waterways Development Project on the river Krishna in Vijayawada. He will also inaugurate approximately 415 kilometers of national highways projects and lay the foundation stone for another 250 kilometers NH projects. The Vice President will also visit the Make in India lab at Swachh Bharat Trust. Later, he will also visit the rural dental clinic. A very short break in here. We'll be right back.
Gyan Chopper is the ancient version of Indian snakes and ladders. This intriguing game was popular among the old, the young, and the rulers as well. The chopper has its origin in the Jain philosophy. It tells the story of virtue, symbolized by the ladders, rewarded, while the vices shown by the snakes are punished. Each square, in turn, also narrates some message of wisdom.
Welcome back after the break. Now, President Ramnath Kovind has appointed a commission to examine the subcategorization of other backward classes, or the OBCs. Now, this is to ensure that more backward among the communities can access the benefits of reservation. The 5-member panel will be headed by retired Chief Justice of the Delhi High Court, G. Rohini. The commission will examine the extent of inequitable distribution of benefits of reservation among the castes or communities included in the broad category of OBC. It will work out the mechanism, criteria, norms and parameters in a scientific approach for the subcategorization within such OBCs. The Commission will have to submit its report to the President within a period of 12 weeks of assumption of charge by the chairperson. And on the 3rd anniversary of the Swachh Bharat mission on Monday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that the movement has been accepted by people, but the goal to a clean India is still far ahead. Calling on the countrymen to make it a people's movement, the Prime Minister said that the dream of a clean India can be achieved only through a positive thought process and mindset.
अगर 1000 महात्मा गांधी आ जाएं, 1 लाख नरेंद्र मोदी आ जाएं, सभी मुख्यमंत्री मिल जाए, सभी सरकारें मिल जाए, तो भी स्वच्छता का सपना कभी पूरा नहीं हो सकता है, नहीं हो सकता है। लेकिन अगर 125 करोड़ देशवासी आ जाएं, तो देखते ही देखते सपना पूरा हो जाएगा।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressing an event at the Vigyan Bhavan in Delhi to mark the 3rd anniversary of his government's Swachh Bharat mission. Reminding the nation that it has come a long way in 3 years, the Prime Minister said that a lot remains to be done before the target of a clean India is achieved. Mentioning how his government had to overcome difficulties to make the Swachh Bharat mission a success, Modi said it has to be a collective work.
मुझे लगता है श्रेष्ठ भारत बनाने के लिए ये छोटा सा काम हर हिंदुस्तानी कर सकता है। चलिए रोज 5 मिनट, 10 मिनट, 15 मिनट, आधा घंटा कुछ न कुछ मैं करूंगा। आप देखिए देश में बदलाव स्वाभाविक आएगा। और ये बात साफ है जी, दुनिया के सामने हमने भारत को दुनिया जिन नजरों से देखने की आदत रखती है वैसा प्रस्तुत करना ही होगा और करके रहेंगे।
The Prime Minister also appreciated the role of the media and the civil society in spreading awareness about the Clean India mission.
इस पूरे आंदोलन को इस देश के मीडिया ने अपने कंधों पर न उठाया होता। 3 साल हो गए। देश का प्रिंट मीडिया, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मीडिया पूरी तरह स्वच्छता के साथ अपने आप को जोड़ दिया है। 2 कदम कभी-कभी हमसे आगे चल रहे हैं।
On the occasion, the Prime Minister also gave away the Swachh Bharat Awards to those who actively took part in the Swachhata Hi Seva movement that was initiated a fortnight ago. With Panchanan Mishra, Bureau Reports, Rajya Sabha TV.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Himachal Pradesh today to lay the foundation stone for an AIIMS hospital in the state. The 750-bed hospital is to be built at a cost of about 1,350 crore rupees. Now, in addition to healthcare, the hospital would provide medical education at the undergraduate and postgraduate levels besides nursing. The Prime Minister will also lay the foundation stone for an Indian Institute of Information Technology at Una. The Prime Minister will also inaugurate a steel processing unit of Steel Authority of India Limited at Kandrori in Kangra district. Later, he would also address a public meeting. And Finance Minister Arunjaitley will begin a two-day visit to Dhaka from today, during which a pact on bilateral investment promotion and protection is likely to be signed. He will be accompanied by Economic Affairs Secretary Subhash Chandra Garg and other senior officials and a 30-member delegation from FICCI. A dollar credit line agreement between the government of Bangladesh and Export-Import Bank of India is likely to be signed for a third line of credit during the visit. Arunjaitley is also likely to call on Bangladeshi Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. On the second day, Finance Minister will hold a bilateral meeting with his Bangladeshi counterpart. Border management issues like curbing movement of Rohingya refugees, the smuggling of fake Indian currency notes and narcotics are among a host of issues that will be discussed during the 45th DG-level talks between Border Security Force and Border Guards Bangladesh, which begins from today. A 24-member delegation of the Border Guard Bangladesh, led by Director General Major Abdul Hussain, will hold a meeting with the BSF team, which is led by its chief KK Sharma. According to officials, both the sides are expected to bring on the table the recent incidents of movement of Rohingya Muslims across the border they share. The Indian side is also expected to take up the issue of fake Indian currency notes being smuggled from the other sides. The two sides will also review the progress of the single row fence that they are building to secure over 250 villages ahead of the existing barbed wire fence along the international border. Meanwhile, a fresh petition which was filed on 24th of September in the Supreme Court will be heard today. The petition favors the centre's stand to identify and deport around 40,000 illegal Rohingya Muslims to Myanmar. The plea will be heard along with the PIL filed by two Rohingya Muslim refugees who have challenged their deportation. On to some other news now. China-led Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank or AIIB and multilateral funding agency Asian Development Bank or ADB will finance a $100 million loan for India. Now, the loan is for improving a transmission network and expanding the use of solar and wind energy. This was the fourth co-financing made by the AIIB and ADB, two major multilateral development banks in Asia. India is the second largest shareholder in the AIIB. The bank has an authorized capital of $100 billion. Now, since the AIIB commenced its operations in 2016, the two sides have co-financed 4 projects, including the M4 Expressway in Pakistan, and the second is a natural gas production and transmission project in Bangladesh. News from the northeast of the country. Around 5 districts in Assam are reeling under the impact of the 4th wave of floods. Nearly 66,000 people have been affected by the fresh deluge. And according to the State Disaster Management Authority, around 72 villages in the state's 5 districts, namely Golpara, South Salmara, Dhemaji, Lakhimpur and Kab Anglong, have been affected. The fresh wave of flood has destroyed about 720 hectares of cropland. At least 15,000 people have taken shelter in relief camps set up by the administration. SDRF teams have been deployed to carry out relief and rescue operations. The last wave of the devastating floods had claimed 76 lives across the state, now taking this year's flood death toll to 160. On to international news now. More than 40 unions and Catalan associations have called a region-wide general strike today in protest against a major police crackdown on a banned independence referendum. Thousands of people have staged protests across Barcelona against the police officers who tried to forcibly disrupt a banned referendum. The protesters chanted slogans in support of the referendum and against the Spanish Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy while waving the Catalan flag. Meanwhile, Catalan leaders have demanded the immediate withdrawal of police forces who tried to forcibly disrupt the referendum. The leaders also called on the Prime Minister to clear his views on the region's future. On Sunday, the Catalans had voted to split from Spain. The government of Catalonia, a wealthy region of 7.5 million people in northeast of Spain, claimed a victory in the referendum on independence from Spain.
Es necesario que la sociedad y sobre todo los jóvenes se manifiesten en estos actos que nosotros creemos que son inaceptables dentro de un Estado de Derecho como en teoria és el espanyol.
De tots els efectius policials desplaçats a Catalunya per a aquestes operacions de repressió que han causat aquests greus actes de violència en un país que s'ha mobilitzat durant anys a través de milions de persones sense que hi hagi hagut cap incident i, per tant, sense que hagi hagut de menester.
And a look at what else is making news across the world in World Wrap. US geneticists Jeffrey C. Hall, Michael Rosbash and Michael W. Young have been awarded the Nobel Medicine Prize. They have been awarded for shedding light on the biological clock that governs the sleep-wake cycles for most of the living things. Their discoveries explain how plants, animals and humans adapt to their biology so that it is synchronized with the Earth's revolutions. Nawaz Sharif is set to be re-elected as the president of Pakistan's ruling PLMN today. This after the country's parliament passed a controversial bill paving the way for the ousted Prime Minister's return. Sharif had to step down as the chief of the Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz after he was disqualified as the Prime Minister by the country's Supreme Court on 28th of July in the Panama Papers scandal. Donald Trump will visit the U.S. territory of Puerto Rico. It is his first visit to the Caribbean island 2 weeks after Hurricane Maria devastated it. The U.S. president is visiting the island at a time when vast majority of the inhabitants there lack power, phone services and are scrambling for food, clean water and fuel. On to sports now. The Indian squad for the upcoming 2020 international series against Australia has been announced, and a veteran left-arm pacer Ashish Nehra and opening batsman Shikhar Dhawan have made a comeback into the 15-member team. The selectors have also included Dinesh Karthik. The other players in the squad are Virat Kohli, MS Dhoni, Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul, Manish Pandey, Kedar Jadhav, Hardik Pandya, Kuldeep Yadav, Yuzvendra Chahal, Jasprit Bumrah, Bhuvneshwar Kumar and Akshar Patel. However, spinners R. Ashwin, Ravindra Jadeja and Ajinkya Rahane have been dropped from the team. The series will have 3 matches starting from 7th of October at Ranchi. That's all in this edition of news. Thanks for watching.